So I think we're the first team, or we're one of the first teams to kind of move on to league championships second time in a row. This will be our second time at the no at least this season, this team, NorCal state champs, which is a huge deal. I mean, um, the school has been really like supportive with our competition, especially this year. And I think for all like the new students that joined, we really grew in our membership this year. We went from like around five really committed members last year to around 30. So for the new members that joined, it's an amazing opportunity for them to kind of grow in their skills and learn. The officer team is mostly composed of seniors this year, so kind of having like a legacy to pass on is really important. I think especially this win means a lot, just increasing awareness for FIRST robotics in our district. Um, I think our aim this year is really to kind of help grow our program, kind of grow in our community, especially with the Adams Lego Robotics program being discontinued. I think what this win means for like our district and our school is like kind of helping those programs grow and thrive.
I would like to add, well, me personally, these like robotics competitions, uh, it feels like a sport to us because there's like the seasons and our preparation and our like competitions. So it's definitely not a normal club for us. It's like how we like channel our passions and all of our like work.
Like Amara was saying, I know these kids have like Tim and Arif and Amara have just this is an avenue for them to really thrive. Just like athletes, on the competition field, these guys spend tremendous hours of dedication and work and trying to strive to do the best they can in engineering and programming. And I think the school is, we've been, Mara's been really at the head of trying to reach out to the community, as well as, the other team members. And they're becoming aware of what we do. And that's kind of the goal of our organization. We're really trying to make, you know, this a cool thing for people to latch onto. And so it's not just athletics in a school, but there's other really super cool things. It's considered the sport of the mind, and that's kind of what it's been called, that this first robotics, these competitions. And so it challenges these kids and has them compete against some of the top minds in California. And so that's kind of what's now being recognized by a lot of the community from our outreach work, and then also our school as well. And more kids are seeing what we're doing and understanding that this is important. And so the administration, the even the leadership crew, it was kind of a cool thing where they wrote personal um, you know, the personal notes to the kids and gave them little care packages to take with them to their competition this last week. That was really cool. The kids really felt appreciated by the leadership crew.
So during the season, we have like three phases basically. So at the beginning is when the game gets announced because it's a seasonal game. Each year it changes. So we would have a brainstorming session where we make prototypes and just basically discuss what would be the best way to go at the game. Uh, then after that, during before competitions, we would start manufacturing these prototypes and these designs, the one that we built from CAD. And then we would usually program our autonomous and our parts of the systems of the robot then too. And usually, then we would go on and compete in our tournaments. And after that, we would have an evaluation process, which is we are where we are currently in. So this is where we try to figure out like what works best and what systems we should use for the next competitions and what we should change.
That's like more, that's especially true to our build season. what we do during like our process of like making the robot and making sure that it works, kind of holding workshops for the new members, kind of re like integrating them into like how to do the task. Like Tim mentioned CAD, which is kind of a 3D modeling software. So we'll teach them how to do that, and we'll teach them how to code, and then we'll have them get their hands on the robot. So a lot of the build season also includes like just season planning of like kind of gathering the new members, organizing the workshops, and then also planning our outreach events for the season, like how we want to, like what we want to improve on based on last season. We want to really work on like how we'll work on our technical outreach, which is reaching out to engineering companies, or how we're going to get more involved with like the local schools.
Preparing
What
for
are
the competitions, it also isn't just about building though. It's also about like what Mara included, it's about reaching out to the community. So that's what we have been doing. Like for example, we were sorry, we were mentoring Adams Middle School with their robotics program too. And we also visited a bunch of like community events spreading the word or like showcasing our robot and STEM.
For the programming side, during the summer and while the engineers designing the robot, we're always learning, we're always developing new solutions. This year, we learned an entirely new motion library to help our robot move faster and more accurately. And so during the summer is where we mostly learning, mostly developing stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of research involved that the students have to do to be able to perform at the highest level. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes on even during the off season, and so that's kind of what these students this year really excelled at, is the amount of work that they put into this, and they've been working for probably over 6 months on this project, I would say, just in its entirety.
I would say that even if robotics is like a seasonal club or activity, I say like working on it is like all year round. Like me personally, I think planning for it and then off season, it's year round event.
Has like a really obsessive like trait to it because we always try to strive for better and like we always keep improving after each competition. And like what Reed mentioned, even during the summer is when we would like study and research. And what it's called, like seeing your robot score like the highest points in the tournament, like gives like you a sense of pride, you know. Like we would like we feel really accomplished and seeing like our even our community work with like reaching out and spreading STEM also like just creates like a fulfillment.
It's definitely like during the competitions when something goes wrong. And at first, everyone's scrambling and everyone's really nervous. But the thrill comes when like the whole team is able to kind of work together and kind of problem solve on the spot. I think that's like definitely the biggest thrill because it's the biggest scare. You're always worried like, oh, what if my robot's gonna break? What's gonna happen? But when the competition's done and everything turns out okay, and the whole team is celebrating at Chipotle, I think that's like the biggest sense of fulfillment that I feel because we'll be proud of what we did that day or we'll be very reflective, but it always has some sense of like team bonding. I think the biggest challenge that we'll have to face for the next competition is kind of going against some of the bigger teams because we've been competing in our league in our district, and you know we're the kind of the only robotics team here in the district. So going against kids like in Fremont and then for Fremont, those areas will be kind of intimidating, but I mean I'm gonna learn a lot and have a lot of fun.
The biggest thrill in robotics for me is having all the skills like computer science, physics, and being able to actually apply them in something practical and then like seeing the results. We're always facing challenges because of things that we don't know, but we always try to overcome that by learning and evolving. So
I think just off the top of my head, some of the things for me when I see on the field when the hardware system and the programming that Arib has done come together and solve a very difficult challenge, and they pull it off, and the robot is basically doing the work all by itself. But it's all the work that the the programmers and the designers and the builders of the robot put into it, and they achieve that, and it's very difficult the task that's put in front of them. And then the challenge is, I think it's all about time, because engineering is all about basically utilizing the time that you have and the resources that you have, and meeting deadlines. And it's so difficult. But these are full-time students. These are high achieving students in high school, and they've got a lot of work, that they have to do for their classes. And this is outside of that time. And so it's all about trying to carve out as much time as they can to be able to put it towards this program. That's difficult for them. There's a couple minor changes that they'll have to make to the hardware, and they're going to have to put in some work on the programming side in order to meet their expectations. Their expectations going into the season was to create a championship robot that could actually compete not only at the Northern California Championships, but also at the World Championships. And so they're very close right now to that. I just am very excited about what they've done this year as far as the hardware and the software side. Then also the body of work that they put together to be able to compare that against the top teams in Northern California, and to match up and see how we stack up. And I'm feeling really good about the body of work that this team has produced this year. And I'm just excited. I'm excited. There's going to be a 2 week push right now to the end, and we'll see what happens. It's almost like any other athletic sport where you can only put yourself in a position to win. And that's what they're going to have to do. They just have to put themselves into a position to win, because these kids know that in those competitions, anything can happen. Things can break. You can be paired with a partner that doesn't score a lot. And so you can lose matches and basically hurt your chances of becoming the champion. And so they just have to figure out a way of putting themselves into a position to win. And then whatever happens is going to happen.
I think the whole team agrees that for NorCal, we're all gonna work really, really hard. We're gonna work a lot of kind of late nights and kind of go together as a team, work out of our garage, and kind of fix whatever needs fixed on the robot. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Areeb because it'll mostly be about I think programming for the next 2 weeks. I think any hardware changes to him, I think they'll be like, I mean, we could do it. There are things that we could definitely improve on and work on, but Reeb's definitely going to feel the pressure. But we're all excited.
I'm excited. I'm also going to be spending all those late nights in the garage
Yeah,
doing
definitely
this.
expect more like nights past midnight.
It's like things past midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the tournament, I think, or at the championship, I'm hoping that we'll get to meet a lot of new teams. I think perform better than we did last year, because last year I believe that we placed, I think, ninth place, top 10 in gold division.
Shooting for it.